Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soccer Showdown, episode 2 of this beautiful Wednesday, March 4th. Joined again by Michael Holzer. I'm your host with the most, Jersey Joe Archino, and we are moving into a little bit of MLS coverage. The season is here, everyone. It is shaping up to be excellent. We have expansion franchises starting for their first year. If you're watching on the live stream, you will see that I have the New York City FC inaugural season jersey. It's very nice. I cannot wait to talk some New York City FC. Michael has trained with New York City FC, so he will give us some nice inside information you just can't get anywhere else. But let's get into the news. Currently, they're set for a Friday to start off. The Chicago Fire will be playing the LA Galaxy. Our former player, Ignacio Maganto, will be playing with the LA Galaxy. So, very exciting time for Iona, for the MLS. But there has been a little bit of controversy as we are about to start the season. There is currently talks between the MLS and the MLS Players Association, and it's basically collective bargaining. We've seen a lot of this recently with the NBA, with the NFL, with the NHL, so hopefully the MLS can avoid the problems we've seen in those leagues. But right now it basically seems like the big holdup has been free agency. Right now on ESPN, they write for the past month, the two sides have stood their ground on the main sticking points of the deal, with the union threatening to strike if the CBA does not contain at least some form of free agency, and MLS is against any kind of free agency. Michael, let me go to you because you very well might be playing in the MLS one day. As a player who could potentially be there, what are your thoughts? I mean, are the players right with this sticking point? Are they entitled to some form of free agency?
Yeah, I think a player. I mean, in Europe, it's like that. In Europe, of course, you have your contracts, and but if you want to transfer before your contract ends, you have to. The team has to pay a fee. And I feel like in the MLS, it's totally different. I don't really understand it 100% how it works, because I feel like when you sign a contract or you get drafted, you can get drafted to another team, and something like this doesn't exist in Europe. In Europe, you can try out for every single team, and if they want you, they want you. And there's no like an obligation to a team. And if I would be a player, I would like to choose where I want to play. And I feel like in the MLS, this is not possible.
It is not, and I think it's a thing we've seen, and it seems a little outdated here because for so many of our leagues here in America, the MLB had this problem many years ago, and it's kind of a given now, and no one ever really thinks about it twice, where for a player, you're entitled to a period of free agency. You give a team loyalty for a little while, and if you feel like that's a good situation, you stay, and if you get a better opportunity to win somewhere, you leave. It just seems like a basic principle that every player's entitled to in sports. So I do think that they're going to have to bite. I think the players deserve it, like you said, and we will hope that this does not cause any problems to what's looking out to be a phenomenal season. I mean, we've talked on this show a couple times about how the players are here for the Premier League. I'm sorry, for the MLS. Not the Premier League yet, but they're getting there. And there are names here, and there are names that they're breaking down, and obviously you have the top 50 rankings. Bleacher Report just put out an article, so I'm going to pose them to you, Michael. I'm going to give you the top 5 according to Bleacher Report. You tell me if you agree or not. At number 5, they have Steven Gerrard, obviously the English Premier League legend, coming over from Liverpool to join the LA Galaxy. They have him ranked at number 5. I'll give you all 5, and then you tell me if you have any disagreements. Number 5, they have Steven Gerrard. Number 4, they have Frank Lampard, another Premier League legend for Chelsea, now with Manchester City. When their season's over, he will be heading over to New York City FC. You have number 3, David Villa, another New York City FC, another legend, played with Messi. That shows you he's pretty darn good. Then you have Robbie Keane, who was the MVP of the MLS a season ago for the LA Galaxy, another big piece of that championship team. And then you have Kaká for Orlando City, another expansion team. So those are the 5 in their exact order. Give me your assessment. Is it a solid one, or you disagree a little bit?
I mean, I disagree a little bit. I mean, Kaká was at one point the best player out of the 5. But over the years, I disagree that Kaká was not the best player out of these 5.
I did think that was a little high, but continue.
Yeah, I would rank Lampard and Gerrard about the same.
Okay.
Because they have
hard to separate.
Tremendous impact on their teams. Frank Lampard is a legend at Chelsea, and Steven Gerrard is a legend at Liverpool. So I feel like they are kind of the same. David Villa is the leading goal scorer in Spain history in the national team, and he has won the La Liga with like Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Like he has unbelievable success. So I would say number one, it's Gerrard and Lampard, and then I would say Villa, then Kaká. I wouldn't rank Robbie Keane as high. I mean, he was the MVP last season. I still think the other players are bigger names.
I agree because those guys are tested in where the competition is the highest. And Keane, he's a tremendous player, but he has not been tested in that same situation. So I am with you. I definitely tend to put the Premier League giants in the first two spots because I think for a lot of people, they just look at the way that the Premier League is and just how physical it is and how so many guys, when they play there, they have so much success in other leagues. Even with their age, I agree with you. I would have to put them up there as well. But it is looking to be a very good season. If you are a New York City FC fan, some news today that, well, you've just got to be pretty darn excited. Xavi from Barcelona, apparently, now it's not official, but the reports are that he is set to join New York City FC next summer. And I've just got to tell you right now, I mean, if you have Frank Lampard, you have Xavi, and you have David Villa for an expansion franchise, Michael, that's got to get you pretty excited.
I mean, these three are fantastic players. I mean, Xavi's a little bit old now, but he's still world class. He still plays for Barcelona. He still gets decent playing time, and he's a legend. And I think I read today he played the most games ever for Barcelona, and he was one of my favorite players ever as well. So I think in the middle of the part with Xavi and Lampard, the center midfield is pretty darn good.
I'm with you. I mean, and that's got to be exciting because we're seeing the attendance records, and they're looking really good. I mean, Orlando City, for their kickoff Sunday against New York City FC, I think they're expecting around 40,000 right now. So the numbers are strong. The sport is growing. And here's where it's a good time to see, because after every World Cup, I did a little bit of digging up, attendance and viewership for the MLS has gone up 50% after the last two World Cups. So what are we going to see now? I mean, I think the interest is going to grow. We've got more supreme talent coming over to this league. We've got expansion franchises, one in New York City, which has got to make you very excited. It is league is very healthy. If they get this collective bargaining thing worked out, I think the MLS is in supreme position because it is a good time. The league is doing very well. But let's transition a little bit to one of the top leagues in the world, La Liga. Right now, we all get it. Real Madrid and Barcelona just clawing it out with each other. A much different weekend, though, for both clubs. Last weekend, we saw Barcelona finally drop. They lost a game. And we saw Real Madrid get back on track with a win. This weekend, it was a flip. Barcelona with the win, Real Madrid with a tie against the Yellow Submarines. The Submarines, they gave them a tough match. But right now, Michael, El Clasico Part 2, it's coming around the corner. October, much far off in the distance. It is coming up, though, this month on the 22nd. Right now, Barcelona's only back 2 points. Do you feel like right now, both these clubs, I mean, that second matchup is going to determine who wins the title this season?
I think so, yes, because in the past, when the El Clasico came, they were always like a kind of 5 or 6 points apart from each other. And this time it's so close. I feel like the winner of this game will have so much self-confidence to win the rest of the games. And this game is going to be unbelievable exciting to watch, because I feel like right now these teams are like 100% equal. They're like equal strong. And I feel like in the past, maybe Barcelona was sometimes a tick better in the season and sometimes Real Madrid. But I feel like this year they're about the same. So I really don't know. And I really have no idea who's going to win this game.
And that's what's got to make it so exciting. I'm with you. There's been so many different periods for both these clubs. It seemed like there were points where Real Madrid had all the confidence in the world, and then they would have a little hiccup, especially against Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. Barcelona, there was a lot of controversy at one point. They were losing, and now they had went on that tremendous 11-game winning streak. They're back on track again with a UEFA Champions League win against Manchester City. They win again this weekend. It seems like both these clubs are just going full force, full steam ahead. And it is that thing is these rosters, not many teams in the world who can stack up with the amount of depth that both these teams have. They are so equal. Is it being at Camp Nou that you think will be the difference? Is the home field advantage that much of a difference maker in these games?
I don't think if you play against Real Madrid, it's an advantage if you play against them at home, because I remember the game Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid, and at the end, like one season ago, and it was 0-4. Remember?
Wow. Yeah, I wrote.
Yeah,
coming back, yes.
Yeah, and because Real Madrid is so good in countering, so I don't think it's an advantage if you play against Real Madrid at home, because if you counter with Bale and Ronaldo, I mean, there's almost nothing better in the world.
There is not.
I mean, if you compare Real Madrid's attacking three with Barcelona's attacking three, would you take Ronaldo, Bale, and Benzema, or Messi, Neymar, and Suarez?
I mean, that's as tough as you could possibly get. And I mean, I would go with Messi, of course, just because Messi alone. But I mean, both are supreme. It's just transcendent talent in all phases. They all can do things that no one else can account for. I mean, it's in Bale especially. Bale was getting a lot of criticism from Los Blancos supporters. I mean, from his play, but since he started to get that criticism, he's been hasn't been taking those same shots. A lot of people were categorizing him as selfish for a lot of the plays he was making, but I think he's dispelled a lot of that. He's changed his ways. He's been much more team-oriented as of late, and we've seen that with Suarez too. Suarez is a guy last year who was leading the Premier League in goals scored, and he's transitioned this year. He's making everyone better with these just terrific passes. You just can't make up. This matchup is going to be tremendous, and I just cannot wait. But there's one last item to get to before we finish this off. We mentioned him a little bit earlier in segment 1, Diego Simeone. I mean, what can you say about the guy except he's just one of the best managers in world football? This is a guy who last season could have won the UEFA Champions League and he did win the La Liga title. And not to mention, I mean, the thing that impresses me the most, Michael, and you can speak on this a little bit, this is a guy who won with a club with no Messi, with no Ronaldo. I mean, he's got to face off against the Real Madrids and the Barcelonas, who are the cream of the crop in the world. And this is a guy who won that league title. I think it just says so much about him. But what do you think of Diego Simeone?
I think Diego Simeone is a very emotional and very aggressive coach. And I feel like this motivation, this enthusiasm, he's taking over to the team, and they give everything till they die. Like, I've never seen a team who gives everything like this. Like they run so much, they fight so much. It's really nice to see how much they work together as a team. And I think these are the values he really trained the team, like how they have to work together as a team, that they never give up, and all these things other coaches don't value as much. And he really trained them and learned them how to be a family.
Very interesting. And we're going to start to see, I mean, look, a lot of people don't know if he's going to be around with Atletico. I mean, because there comes a point where it's got to be frustrating, where you're a giant and you're playing so well, but it's hard to compete with the top clubs sometimes when they're able to sign players that you just can't hold on to or you can't get. So there's people out there who think that his days at Atletico are limited because one day one of these big clubs is just going to make him an offer he can't refuse. But he has been vocal that he loves it at Atletico, and the plan is to stay there. What do you think his future holds? Manchester City, there seems like they would love the idea of bringing him in, but I want to get your take on it.
I think if he would win the Champions League in the next 2 years with Atletico, he would leave, because there's nothing more you can win as a coach with a smaller team like Atletico Madrid. But I think if he doesn't win the Champions League in the next 2 years, he's gonna leave anyways, because he has had such big success with Atletico Madrid, and all the other people in the world know that, and they all know that he's a very good coach, and yeah, he's definitely going to be very interesting for the market.
It'll be a lot of fun, and I mean, it is just such a wonderful time to be a soccer fan. There are Premier League games going right now. There's La Liga, El Copa del Rey is going on right now with Barcelona, and the MLS starts off on Friday. It is very exciting, but we will always be here every Wednesday to give you your soccer fix. Jersey Joe Archino, tagged alongside by Michael Holzer. Thank you, everyone, for joining in, and we will be back in the same place next week.
See you.